Join thousands of NFT traders who already start their day on CryptoSlam.
Investments into Southeast Asian crypto firms rocket as GameFi catches the investor's eye. Will shifting dynamics force play to earn games to change their strategy?
A lot of the games coming up in Q2, Q3, Q4, we have a lot of much more well-designed game loops that are coming out, where it will be making it a lot more fun for the user to play and not just for the user to try and earn from it.
And is Asia ripe for an extended NFT boom? Coming up on Word on the Block, we've got Brian Liu, founding partner of Infinity Ventures Crypto, and we're going to talk about all of that and a whole lot more. Art or music, university degrees or dating, Asia is showing us the way on the limitless potential of the digital world. So what are the hottest projects that could disrupt the way we live our lives in the years to come? And who are the people behind them? Welcome to Word on the Block, the series that takes a deeper dive into blockchain and all the emerging technologies that shape our world at the intersection of business, politics, and economy. It's what we cover right here on Forkast News. I'm Forkast Editor-in-Chief Angie Lau. Today, we are in conversation with Brian Liu, founding partner of Infinity Ventures Crypto based out of Asia, but looking across borders and investing in next generation of startups that are redefining the internet around the globe. We want to know what the next bet is and why. It could very well be seeding a future we'll soon find out about. Thanks for joining us, Brian.
Thank you, Angie. Nice to see you again.
It's great to see you. Okay, so I've been hearing a lot about the fund and a lot of conversations, no doubt, you've been having with investors around the globe. But your investment thesis is really specific here. It's GameFi, or at least one of them. GameFi, in other words, combining the power of game and decentralized finance. Why GameFi? Why this bet?
Well, our fund actually has three focuses. We have DeFi/FinTech, GameFi, and Web3. But we're a little bit more skewed towards GameFi because of our first investments. Our first investment into the fund was Yield Guild Games, which kind of set the tone for the types of companies that were introduced to us because of the massive success of YGG.
So YGG, tell everybody about YGG, why it was important in really the chapter of NFTs and play to earn.
Yeah, well, YGG is the first guild for the Web3 community. It's right now the largest guild in the world. It is based out of the Philippines, but it has branches in all over Southeast Asia, LATAM, Brazil, Korea, Japan, India. And basically what YGG does is it's a guild that provides scholarships to a lot of the unbanked and underbanked people throughout Southeast Asia, which allows them then to earn anywhere between $300 to even upwards of $1,000 right now in playing a game for maybe anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours.
Okay, and that's tied to something that really captured a lot of people's imaginations, and we're talking about Axie Infinity here. Tell us, what is a scholarship? How does this actually work? Like, for a lot of the audience who's just learning about this now, bring them inside this universe that you've been hanging out in for a couple of years now.
Throughout Southeast Asia, there's a population of about 655 million people. The median age is about 30, and on top of that, their minimum wage is about $300. So when you get into games such as Axie Infinity, or when Axie was very popular, it's still popular now, but 6 to 8 months ago, Axie, just to get into the game would probably cost you $1,500 US just to be able to play the game, which is way out of reach for most of these scholars that we were reaching out to. But even though it costs $1,500 to be involved to play it, in 1 month, you could possibly earn maybe $300, maybe even $600 to $800 playing Axie, depending on how many battles you would win.
And so what kind of economy are we talking about here? Why is this of value? And why did this trigger almost a run on play to earn investments that we've been seeing in the VC space for the past couple of months?
Well, this kind of triggered a whole new sector in gaming. Gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Crypto is a big industry where people are trying to figure out how to enter. Now, gaming was really, in my opinion, that intersection where the public could understand the use case for crypto. And with just the normal people within Southeast Asia being able to earn or just support their monthly earnings with extra income just by playing a game, it kind of blew up into something that was actually tangible for people that didn't understand crypto to say, hey, there's actually a real use case for this.
So what happens when you earn within the game? How does this relate back to the real world?
Last year, if you would wanted to turn your in-game tokens into fiat, it would have to go from, for example, if it was Axie, it would go from the Ronin wallet, then transfer it into MetaMask. And then from MetaMask, you would have to transfer it to a local OTC or an exchange within that country, and then transfer it into fiat. But nowadays, this year, there's several companies out there trying to solve this issue. One of them, for example, is XLD. XLD is one of the portfolios of IVC where they have a wallet, and that wallet enables them to use the in-game tokens such as SLP and use it in the real world, where they can pay their utility bills, where they can pay their groceries straight from SLP right to that merchant.
Your fund, Infinity Ventures Crypto, has just closed something like $70 million US. You're looking at GameFi, you're looking at DeFi, you're looking at Web3. So when you're actually looking for the next generation of investment, what are you looking for? What kind of tags you that, wow, okay, this is a really interesting or promising game? What are the fundamental elements that actually make a successful play to earn game for you?
Right now, most of the play to earn games might not be the most fun to play, but they're able to earn. So you can play and earn, play to earn. But a lot of the games coming up in Q2, Q3, Q4, you have a lot of much more well-designed game loops that are coming out, where it will be making it a lot more fun for the user to play and not just for the user to try and earn from it. So there's a ton of them coming out. One of them that has just launched a mini game that is looking to launch their game in March, that will be doing their IDO at the end of this month, is called Crypto Unicorns by Laguna Games, a AAA studio out there. And this one has actually got a lot of people's attention because it's actually, the art is done very nicely. The game loop is very thought out. It's very complex. And then there's also games out there that are a lot easier to play, such as Fancy Bird. These are hyper casual games where you probably only spend 5-10 minutes on the game a day, and you might be able to earn anywhere between $5 to $10 a day playing this. So anybody can play these hyper casual games, not just advanced gamers. You're talking about grandparents. Even your parents that don't really know how to play games can play these games.
Is this the definition of the next evolution of gaming? is that going to replace the kind of gaming that past generations have been used to, like with the actual hardware and the in-game closed kind of environment where it's just playing? Where do you see the evolution of gaming going?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now, back in the day, when games started moving on to the mobile phone, you had these, these Facebook games that anybody was able to play, which then turned into something called pay to play, which then kind of evolved into freemium games where people were able to play for free. But if you really wanted to get to the next level or really wanted to become good at it, you would have to pay for it. So they were called freemium. And then now all of a sudden it's kind of evolved into this play and earn type of environment. Now, if you're talking about equipment, the equipment doesn't change. These play and earn games are still being used on mobile phones or being used on computers. But the whole aspect of the community owning part of the game or owning the assets that you're playing with instead of the game company owning the assets is something that's completely different and new. And a lot of gamers are excited by that. For me, myself, I was a huge gamer, and in certain games that I played, I'd spent so much money that I had all these gems and armors, but I wasn't able to sell it. And it just sat in my account, not being used. But nowadays, in these NFT play to earn games, you own the assets. You can trade them freely within the community.
And it's not just the gamers who are interested, but time for a quick breather. When we return, we're going to talk more about big brands trying to make their way into the metaverse, intertwining all of this when we come back. After the break, we'll talk about YGG's strategy to go local in Southeast Asia.
Each country has a different language. So when YGG was in the Philippines trying to penetrate Thailand, trying to penetrate Indonesia, it was very difficult for them because none of the marketing material coming out of it was localized.
And later, will crypto firms in Asia be able to grab even more investor dollars this year? When Word on the Block returns.
Forkast News is your gateway to all things blockchain, breaking down and breaking through the noise with the people who know it best and why it matters. We go to where the action is, from Asia to the world. Forkast is the most reliable source of intellectual discourse and insight that informs, educates, and bridges the gap between the blockchain industry and the mainstream. The future is being built, and Forkast has it covered. This is Forkast News.
All right, GameFi entering the metaverse. The concept of the metaverse and gaming seem to be closely intertwined as popular games like World of Warcraft, Sims, and Second Life gave birth to some of the first virtual worlds. Now, as players are searching for more immersive experiences, will the metaverse be the next frontier of gaming? Welcome back. We're talking to Brian Liu, and from former gamer to now game investor, I guess you could say, Brian. Let's talk about YGG here. Yield Guild Games recently introduced its first regional sub-DAO for Southeast Asia. I guess it's YGG SEA, where you also serve as a co-founder. Why are DAOs so important for YGG's global expansion, and what will their role be in the future of GameFi, you think?
Great. So I was part of the incubation team for YGG SEA. I was lucky enough, and our fund, Infinity Venture Crypto, was lucky enough that Gabby, the co-founder of YGG, gave us this opportunity to help YGG get much more, I guess you could say, we were able to help him penetrate Southeast Asia a lot more by becoming a sub-DAO. And what is a sub-DAO? So a sub-DAO for YGG basically means that the sub-DAO has a territory within the world. Now, Southeast Asia has several different countries that make up Southeast Asia. And on top of that, each country has a different language. So when YGG was in the Philippines trying to penetrate Thailand, trying to penetrate Indonesia, it was very difficult for them because none of the marketing material coming out of it was localized. Everything that they were doing was, in English. When YGG SCA came in, we tried to focus and tried to basically build a team and boots on the ground in every single country where marketing is localized, recruitment is localized, where we would have targeted marketing campaigns in their local language to teach them how to, one, play the game, two, how to even open up a crypto wallet. A medium wage of Southeast Asia a month is around $300. But in some places, in the much rural places in Indonesia, you're only making about $100 a month. So these people don't have bank accounts. They're the unbanked. They're truly the unbanked and underbanked. So when we go in there, we have to teach them how to open up a crypto account. We have to teach them how to use that crypto account. Then we have to teach them how to use Discord, and all this is new to them. So Southeast Asia is the first sub-DAO, but since then we have IndiGG, which is YGG India, come up. Now we have YGG Latam which is called OlaGG, that just started. Then we are in discussions with SkyGG, which is Korea. We have BayZ in Brazil, and then we have YGG Japan that will be starting sometime Q2. So YGG is really spreading their wings all throughout the world right now.
What you're talking about is local access onboarding and onboarding and training to local populace in their language with their perspective, with a full understanding of culture and language, and onboarding into crypto adoption, NFT adoption, play to earn, play to win adoption. It's almost educating this really important sector that we often talk about, the unbanked, and onboarding them in a real way that they can be motivated to participate in.
From this play to earn explosion that's happened last year, there's all sorts of different, to earn industries that are coming up. One that's extremely exciting for us over here at IVC that we just invested in was Proof of Learn. Proof of Learn is now something they're calling Learn to Earn, where they're focused on teaching Web 2 programmers how to code in Web 3, code in Solidity, code in Rust, and which is something that right now everybody is in need of.
Let's talk about the metaverse here as well, because the beginning of 2022 already brought a lot of metaverse-related developments, with Shiba Inu announcing their metaverse, luxury brand Gucci doubling down on its metaverse commitments, and acquiring more virtual land. What are your thoughts there?
In the early parts of 2021, when we were starting out our fund and we were talking about Web3 and the metaverse, people were like, well, what is the metaverse? Then all of a sudden, Facebook changed their name to Meta. And all of a sudden, metaverse is the word that everyone's talking about right now. And it's very interesting to see because the first mover into the space, Sandbox, has already been talking about the metaverse for so long. Even now, there's other metaverses that are popping up that people are buying land in. High Street, one of our portfolios, a Taiwanese founder that was in VR and AR, jumped into the metaverse this last year and started to basically build out what they're calling right now it's kind of like an apartment complex where each apartment is your own metaverse right now. We're talking about adoption from Gucci or LV or even these big car manufacturers that are getting involved into this. It just means that there's a lot of adoption coming in the future.
Well, hang on to that thought right there, because when we return, we're going to talk about some of Asia's biggest stars making their mark with NFTs when we come back. On the other side, are crypto hubs the push Asia needs to go mainstream?
Forkast News is your gateway to all things blockchain, breaking down and breaking through the noise with the people who know it best and why it matters. The future is being built, and Forkast has it covered. This is Forkast News.
Well, welcome back to the show. We are in conversation with one of Asia's big investment funds. This is Infinity Ventures Crypto, and I'm speaking with co-founder Brian Liu here on the potential of Asia here. Despite the general Asian public's relatively muted response to NFTs so far, some collections are picking up traction. The Fanta Bear NFT series, co-created by Taiwanese superstar Jay Cho, has dethroned BAYC's weekly trading volume in January. That's Bored Ape Yacht Club, of course, reaching 17,194 ETH. And if you do a quick back of the envelope calculation, that's about 45 million US dollars. Is this a sign of the Asian public warming up to the idea of NFTs? Well, we're talking to Brian Liu here. What do you think, Brian?
Actually, I do think that it's happening. BAYC is, of course, and CryptoPunks is, of course, the blue chips of this industry. But then you see a lot of people in Asia looking to build their own BAYC of the East. You have Fanta Bear. Another one is Monkey Kingdom, which is on the Solana ecosystem. That one has a ton of followers. And that one was actually created in Hong Kong. Just 2 weeks ago, Kara Furu out of Indonesia was the #1 best-selling NFT on OpenSea. You even saw the likes of David Beckham's son buying it and tweeting about it. And this is Indonesian, made in Indonesia, and it was actually targeting the Indonesian public, but it became kind of a worldwide phenomenon. And that one went from, I think, 0.5 ETH was the mint all the way up to, at its peak, it was at 6 ETH. And that one is gaining a lot of steam. But right now, NFTs in Asia is really taking off.
According to the FinTech in ASEAN 2021 report, we saw that investment into Southeast Asian crypto firms surged by over 400% in the first 9 months of 2021. Compared to the year before. I mean, what is driving the increased investor interest in Southeast Asia? Why are you particularly interested in Southeast Asia?
So what really got us excited about Southeast Asia was when Consensus came out with the report about the daily active users of MetaMask. When everyone saw that report come out and saw that Philippines was #1. Vietnam was #3. US was #2. And out of the top 10, 6 is from Asia. 4 was in Southeast Asia. That was really, you could say, because of the play to earn ecosystem that was booming out here. And when you have these use cases and you have these pain points that need to be solved with this huge crypto adoption, a lot of the innovation is coming within Southeast Asia because they're firsthand seeing the pain points that needs to be solved within this massive growing population. So because of that, all these innovations coming out and these pain points being solved means that everywhere else that's going to have massive crypto adoption will have these same pain points. So that's why Southeast Asia is getting so much investments.
I mean, it was something really clear to us when when I founded Forkast. It was a clear sense that Asia was part of this emerging story, in that where the world at some point would have crypto adoption, the playground and the experimentation and the petri dish, if you will, of innovation was all happening in Asia. And you're stressing that point when we're talking about what we're seeing in Southeast Asia, that there are specific pain points, people are interested, and if there is a solution for Southeast Asia, population 650 million, where a majority of that population is young and in the generation that is interested in tech, interested and already well-versed in technology, already well-versed in mobile, this potentially could be onboarding for the rest of the world. If that is a very specific use case, if it works here, it could really work anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you think about it, for Southeast Asia, other than Malaysia and Singapore, less than 50% of the population in the other Southeast Asian countries don't have bank accounts, which then allows for our companies like XLD that has a wallet that allows people to then spend what they earn exactly from the game into the real world. So just the innovation that's coming out of Southeast Asia right now is solving a lot of the pain points that is being created by this play to earn boom.
Do you think we're going to start seeing more physical spaces popping up, the Silicon Valleys, if you will, that are happening in Southeast Asia? I'm hearing about one in Bali, for example, for Asia's crypto community to really kind of come together, to put their brains together and address those pain points, as it were.
Yeah, I would say right now the leading area for crypto in Asia, where most of the funds is actually in Singapore. But a lot of the innovation that's happening is really coming out of Philippines. And then you have places like Indonesia, which has a population of, I think, a little less than 300 million, that is a little behind, but the massive population they have, and it's just probably one of the most, where everybody wants to penetrate. And you have Vietnam, which according to our sources on the ground there is the number one derivatives exchange in volume in Southeast Asia is actually based out of Vietnam, where in the Philippines we heard that it was the sheer numbers of users is in the Philippines, but for the sheer volume it was in Vietnam. So it obviously shows that the Vietnam community is a lot more adept to crypto, a lot more welcoming, and a lot more understanding.
Well, thank you for sharing the landscape of Asia with us and where you see the bets coming for the future. It's fascinating to really see. It's fascinating to cover. And it's fascinating to talk about. And Brian Liu, thank you so much for your time. That's Brian Liu, founding partner, Infinity Ventures Crypto. Thanks so much, Brian, for joining us from Taiwan.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this latest episode of Word on the Block. I'm Angie Lau, Forkast Editor-in-Chief. Until the next time.